Hi, me again. So I wanted to make a little video that just goes over what to do as you're working through refining your icons. So I remember myself as a little newbie graphic design student and taking this class, and I'd start working on a project and I'd be excited about it and have some good ideas and really optimistic. And I'd get to a certain point when I'd done everything I could think of and it still looked horrible. And it was, it's kind of a scary feeling, like, oh, what if this is the best I can do? It's not that great. So here's what to do when you find yourself in that position. Number one thing is don't panic and don't let yourself like feel afraid that this is the end and it can't get any better than this. Because that feeling really works against your motivation to keep trying. And if you don't keep trying, well, you won't get any better than what you've got. So just give it all you've got. Try to be optimistic. I highly recommend working on things while you're listening to music or doing things that make you happy. Um, that Sometimes, I don't know, I go into a design mode where I'm not really thinking about it. I'm not feeling stressed. I'm not feeling pressure. The stress, the pressure, the worry can really undermine your ability to soldier on and be successful. So tip number one, don't panic. Tip number two is to use the design principles that we just read about. That's why we read the book. Those principles give you something to use to ask the right questions in order to find the flaws, in order to define in your head what's the matter. Why don't I like this? Once you have that, once you know, oh, I don't like this because of that, then you know what to fix, you know where to go and what to try. So for instance, you'll go through and you might think like, okay, proximity. What's the spacing like in my icons? Is it even, like in places where it should be even, or is it slightly off? Because that slight off feeling, it hurts. So you'll go through alignment. Are my lines straight where they should be straight? And are they kind of organic where they should be organic? How do they feel? Are they smooth? Are they too smooth? Are they thick enough? Are they so just start asking questions. And if you can't think of another question to ask, go back to the design principles. Contrast. Is there enough contrast? Does this look kind of bland because it's all one color? Or maybe, is this too many colors? Do I just have too much going on here? Is it making it kind of, whoa, crazy? So just go through the principles and start asking yourself questions. And that'll be your first line of defense, the first option for you to start seeing flaws in your own work. You have to question it. Number three is to put your work in front of a new pair of eyes. So find anybody and ask them, is there something bothering you about this? What would you change if you were trying to make this better? What would you change? You can always email me, say like, I'm stuck. This does not look the way I want it to look, and I can't understand what I'm doing, what I need to do next. I am really great at opinions. So part of the reason why I love my job is it's mostly about giving people my opinion. So I will definitely give you my opinion for the rough draft, and I will give you my opinion for the final. But that if you need a little bit more time, if you know now that you're not sure where to go, then send me what you've got. Or there's always VoiceThread. Use VoiceThread. Put drafts up on VoiceThread. Send emails to other classmates whose opinions have been helpful to you in the past and say, hey, will you get on VoiceThread and tell me what you think of this or what I could do differently? Anyway, rely on other people. It's funny how when you're working on a project, you get really connected to certain parts of it. Maybe for the first 5 minutes of your project, some certain shape looks really nice and it's clearly the best shape of all the other pieces in the icon. But after you've worked and worked and worked on all the other pieces, maybe that one shape is not up to snuff anymore. But you loved it so much in the beginning that you're blind to the problems it is causing now. And people that don't have the history you have, that don't have that background, um, that attachment to the project, can look at things more objectively and can save you some time. So that is my advice. Oh, you can also set up appointments with our tutor. I'm putting information in the this week's announcements on the question and answer page for this week. So there's a link there about how to set up time with the tutors. I can't think of a better way to save yourself trouble in this class than to sign up a regular meeting with a tutor. Just because it doesn't matter how smart you are, it doesn't matter how good you are at this kind of stuff. Um, a new perspective on what you're working on will always make things better. It will always make things more clear to you. And some of the biggest mistakes that I've ever made in my design career wouldn't have happened if I had asked somebody else what they thought and not just relied on myself to do it all. This is one of those classes where you can share the load and a tutor can help with that. It's not the sort of situation where, oh, you're just not smart and you're not getting it. You need somebody to hold your hand. That's not really applicable in this situation. You're trying to develop an intuition, and that takes time. So go rely on somebody else's intuition for a little bit. And that is my best advice for you.